that phase, when we were still red and green and blue because we was breathing hydrogen before they invaded our planet, before they started spraying the chemtrails and the Morgellons and the oxygen in the atmosphere. You get what I'm saying? Like, I speak about that time in here a lot. I speak about pre-colonialization, so you got to understand this time periods here. Now, after 1492, which is pre-Great Invasion, pre-colonialization, after 1492, that's when we begin to fall in frequency. All right, so I'm going to do some lectures on Egypt and stuff like that because it's a planet called Egypt. And the place that they call in Egypt is not even really Egypt. It's an actual planet called Egypt. But that's a whole different lecture. All right? So, but what I want you all to understand is they broke us down. Before we got to where we are today, all right, we were at the top. Okay, we were at the top. So after we were betrayed and we began to fall in frequency, all right, because the human beings, they betrayed us by the Moors betrayed us by teaching the human beings our access codes to our ancient technology. The human beings then turned around and gave it to the Pleiadians and the Draconians, who used it against us, and they began to blow our second sun out the atmosphere and everything, right? So then we began to fall in frequency. They started to blow our pyramid towers up, destroy our trees. All right, we had huge, humongous trees. For those of you who haven't watched the video, you need to go watch it. It's called Trees, Mountains, and Lies. All right, but trees, all the giant trees still exist. You just see them, they just cut. But these are where all your mountain ranges and mountain tops come from. And when you go through, we just hit 1,000. We 1,000 deep in class, y'all. 1,000 deep. Woo! Shout out to the university. All right, but yeah though. But when you go through the west coast or the western part of the country, you see all these mountain ranges. And these mountain ranges, if you're not aware, you'll think they're just mountains. But if you was to go look at Google Maps and look at the top of any mountain, you'll see that these are tree stumps. So go watch that video. It's on this website. Go watch it. All right. But, okay, so this is during that time when they was cutting the trees down and doing all this stuff, right? We scattered amongst the land. This is why in the Bible they tell you about the Tower of Babel and how it fell, and then we were scattered amongst the land. They're really talking about us, gods, Anunnaki gods. All right, we were scattered amongst the land, and when we became scattered amongst the land, we began to become tribal. Because before we were scattered amongst the land, we were never tribal at all. So you got to understand where Native Americans come from. Before that, this is us, all right? But before we were scattered amongst the land, we weren't tribal. We communicated using telepathy, and our chips that connected to these tall pyramid towers that we had that were made out of all different type of sapphires, rubies, crystals, tourmalines, all of these different things. I've always said this, right? All right, so now we got scattered amongst the land. Think about it. People that were using telepathy, we were using telepathy, so we can't use it anymore. So what we did, we started ganging up. We're like, okay, well, we can't use telepathy no more, but we're going to gang up. We were still aware what had happened to us. We fell in frequency. We began to turn these copper complexions. We began to lose our greens and our luminous greens and blues and these beautiful colors that we vibrated, right? Because the frequency of the planet began to become lower. This was all by design, okay? So this is how you get to that period of what they like to call Native Americans. And they always taught you that the Native Americans was a separate group of people from you. All right? Because they wanted black people and Latino people to believe that Latino people are Latino people. Black people are Africans that come from Africa that were brought across the water, which is a lie. And that Indians are just Indians who were killed off. And that the ones that were left, they were given land and free reservations to live on. This is all bullshit. This is all fucking bullshit. Lies. All right? Blacks and Latinos are the same species. Genetics will prove that, right? Now, when you talk about these Indians, the people that they give the land to and get a free reservation to, these are not Indians. These are white people. And that's not nothing against white people. I'm just saying, these are human beings. If they are not human beings, they are Mexicans. Remember, they are Mexicans, which are a form of human beings still, right? Now, look at this. We still good over there, babe? All right, thank y'all. The wifey let me know that everything look good on the screen for y'all. That you can still hear me good, everything clear? Cool. All right, so look at him right here, right? He looks like what you would call a Mexican American. That is not the way your Native Americans looked. All right, and I don't even want to use the term Native American because we were never native to America. All right. Now we were darker like that. You see that book where it say famous Indian tribes? You see that top picture? We were more like that. All right. Now, when you're looking at us today, you're looking at the Indians. Okay, so for you to understand how we got to that phase is because we became tribal after we fell in frequency. Okay, so now, once we became tribal, we had many tribes amongst us, many great tribes amongst us, right? Many great tribes amongst us that were strong warrior tribes, full of, still in tune with magical abilities, still in tune with ancient knowledge, all right? And knew how to use it against these Spanish conquistadors. This is why if you listen to a lot about magic or stuff like that, or you read about magic, or you read about, just anything dealing with the Native Americans, they always talk about how they had these magical abilities in a way. They talk about them being able to dance and make it rain. They talk about them being real spiritual and communicating with spirits and things of that nature, right? Because this is us. This is us they talking about. These people, we never look like this. This is a lie. These people who they are telling you are Indians, we never look like this. Even when we became tribal, we did not look like this. All right? We look the same way we do today. All right? Same way we do today, that's how we looked at then. All right? Now, once you understand this truth about who the Native Americans really were, that there was no such thing as Native American. All right, look at all these Indian tribes. This is a picture right here, babe. Look at this. This right here is a picture of all the different Native American Indian tribes that was on present day America. All right. You believe that they killed all these tribes off? No, they didn't. They simply moved in, invaded us, went to war with certain tribes, killed off certain powerful tribes, and then renamed us African Americans, Latin Americans. Then renamed this whole land America when it was really just a part of Atlantis. Okay? This is a very important period in time that you need to understand where we rebelled. And it's hitting from you because they got you believing that Native Americans are separate from you. But each and every one of you can go back a generation, 2, 3, 4, and everybody gonna say they got, hey, my grandmother is Cherokee, my granddad was full-blooded Navajo or whatever. Every black person or Latino person you talk to can tell you the same story. Why? Because we are the Native Americans. All right? Hold on. Camera on me for a second, Jim. Thank you. Back here, Jim. Where you going? Jim. Stay right there. Stay. You too close. Back right there. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. All right. Now, a lot of people don't understand this concept, but you must grasp it. That there were never no such thing as motherfucking Native Americans. You looking at them. Now feel that pain. Add that on top of the pain you already got knowing about the shit you went through just as a black person. Now add on top of what the fuck they told you about the Native Americans. Add that on top of that. Because it was your ancestors they told you about in school. But they hid you from you by telling you that these are a completely different group of people that you come from overseas, over the water. No, those Africans over there, those are our people too, but they were just already over there doing them. We was over here. If you were born over here right now, your ass is over here. In this portion of the realm, of the land, of Atlantis. Let's erase the bullshit. Let's eradicate the fuckery now. You must know your history as an Anunnaki god before the Great Invasion of 1492, and you must know your history as Anunnaki gods and goddesses after the fall. How you got to where you got to today. How do we get to this point? Alright? This is serious stuff right here now. This is serious, right? This is serious what I'm about to show y'all tonight. Because you got to understand what they did to us. They Then they sit here and tell us about the Native Americans and don't even show us us. They show us other motherfuckers. And then gave them other motherfuckers all the free land that's supposed to came to us. Now, if you take all the free land that the government promised the Native Americans, they never gave them. They gave to, because we are the Native Americans. We the descendants, all right, of these tribes, all right? Because we are the Americans, so we are the Native Americans. But I'm just saying, we are the Indians that they lied about. We are the tribes. They just took our tribal names from us and renamed us. African Americans, Latin Americans. But before that, you was Cherokee. You was Potawatomi. You was a part of the Illinois Confederacy. You was Seminole. You was Navajo. Aztec, Inca. For those of you overseas, you were Ashanti, Zulu. We became tribes after they attacked our planet. And in these tribes, we still knew who the enemy was. This is what your ancestors fought against. This is what you must remember so that you can attack that warrior spirit in you. So you can remember, there's nothing to fear. This is the accumulation of all that has happened to us as a species. You must remember. How can you remember if portions of your history have been taken from you? They got you believing that the Indians were somebody else. That after they killed all the Indians, right? Which they didn't do. After they killed a lot of Indians, and then they called us Indians, but after they killed a lot of us Indians, right? And enslaved most of us, right? Then they renamed us African Americans. Then sent some of us across seas and back. They sent some of us across seas as Indian slaves. After they conquered us, they sent some of us across seas as Indian slaves, and then once we got over there, they reclassified us as Indian slaves, then sent us to Africa. Then when we got to Africa, we were reclassified as African slaves, then sent back over here. Just so they can have their bullshit story about the Middle Passage, which never existed. Let me see the lighter, babe. Just so they can have their bullshit story, guys. Y'all hear me? Reflections about the Middle Passage. To make us believe that we not from here. Wasn't on this land first. All those people with carbon in their skin on this planet. Alright. That was over here. Because when they sent out these Spanish conquistadors, when they went out on their missions, they went to different parts of our planet. Of this realm, rather. And attacked. They went east, west, and attacked all at once. Okay, so now that we passed that point, now that we know that who the Native Americans really were, for those who didn't know, yes, that's us. That's your history. Before you a nit. Today you just a nigga, or a bitch, or a thot, or a pimp, or a good old employee. You see what I'm saying? But before they called you that, you was an African American slave. Latinos was too. Latino came out of nowhere. After they freed the slaves, then they came up with Latino. Nigga, you never heard the term Latino till they freed the slaves. Right, more division. It's more division. Real talk. That's why like Latino. What? But that's us. We was all in there together. Don't let them fool you. The genetics don't lie. Right? So, now that we know who the real Indians was, And as you can see, they didn't give us none of our shit. All the people that's living on our shit, like they said, they call them $5 Indians. That's true. That's true. I heard Dr. Phil Valentine call them $5 Indians. I like that term. I like that term. Heard Dan Calloway call them that too. I like that term. Because that's really what they is. They not us. We the Indians. And y'all ain't gave her shit. Y'all got us thinking y'all taught us in school that y'all killed all the Indians off and brought us over here after y'all killed the Indians off. Which, if you think about it, that don't even make sense. Who the fuck finna go? Listen, if they wanted slaves, if Europe wanted slaves, think about this, y'all. They teach you in school that Europe wanted slaves, right? Why would they kill off the Indians if they wanted slaves? You already got slaves. Why not just kill off the Indians that's resistant and enslave them Indians right there and make them your slaves? Who the fuck finna go to war with a whole land of Indians? Have to kill off all these Indians. Then gotta go back overseas and go to war with Africans to get these Africans to put them on ships to bring them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The lies end now. The lies end now. You hear me? For real though. The lies end now. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the university. We had 2,500 live viewers. But yeah though, the bullshit ends now. Who the fuck would do that? And we didn't know in school, y'all. We wasn't paying attention. That shit was boring because they was our soul. Once again, your soul knows all truths. Remember that? Etheric bodies. I taught y'all this. Your soul was like, man, that's bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. And you didn't pay attention. And then you just mark some shit down to get it right. You don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear your mama mouth. You want to go outside. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had time for all that. You had summertime shit to go get involved in. You wasn't, feel me? You trying to go kick it. And you ain't pay attention to that shit. No, you didn't, because I did. We didn't. But our soul wouldn't let us. And I know y'all laughing. I can feel you laughing at home. That's how powerful I can feel you laughing. I can feel y'all laughing like y'all is crazy. Look, honestly, this is the truth. You hear me? Oh no, we getting deep. We ain't scratched the surface. I gotta let niggas know who the Indians is first. Niggas gotta know they the Indians first before we can even get into Chief Chicago. Oh yeah, we finna get gangster. We finna get real shit. Gonna make a lot of sense right now tonight. This is hitting history, hitting gemstones. You get what I'm saying? We the stone that the building refused, y'all. You hear me? They refused us. Now everything's smacking them in their face because it's like we rising, awakening. That beast waking, them titans waking up inside of us. Especially if you ain't go get vaccinated, them titans boiling inside you. You wouldn't have got vaccinated, you can't rise. You can't do shit but bubble. So all you can do is bubble like hot grease. You heat, but you gonna rise. The most rising you gonna do, you gonna rise then bubble out. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? So look, now that we know we the Indians, cool. Let's get into these guys. Now that we know we the Indians, so more lies. We never looked at like that, class. We didn't look like that, so I don't know why they line us like that. Okay, so this is all the land we had. We had all these tribes, right? We got all these different tribes. So us, current day African Americans or Latin Americans, which are your Puerto Ricans, and your Latin Americans over here in this part of the land. All right, we were all scattered in these different tribes. Okay, so when Europe was trying to conquer this part of the land from us, all right, they had to carve out the land based upon the strongest tribe. So they invaded our land, right? They invaded our land and they scattered out the strongest tribes, all right? And what they discovered was that up in this now present day Midwest region was a tribe called the Illinois that was very, very, very powerful. They controlled a lot of land and basically the heart of this whole little realm. Because they discovered that all these tribes were working in synchronization together in a cohesive unit as one. All right. This was Europe discovered when they first invaded present day America. All these tribes was working together, communicating, and they was trying to figure out how they were doing it. So basically, they scouted out and were able to find out that the whole land was basically ran by three main tribes. You had the Florida Seminoles down here that was running the whole basically south. All right. You had the Illinois in the Midwest. All right. And you had a lot of Navajo. All right. Up in the West Coast area. Coming up out of present day Mexico, all up South America, all up through that Inca, all up through there, all up down here. All right. All right. That's how it was. So now this is where we get deep. All right, I want to show y'all something. Today we talking about the Illinois Confederation. All right, and the Illinois Confederation was composed of, like they tell you, the Illinois Confederation, also referred to as the Illini, were made up of 12 to 13 tribes who lived in the Mississippi River Valley. Okay. So it was composed of 12 to 13 tribes, but 12 to be exact, because you know Wikipedia gonna try to spin you. They're gonna try to spin you, okay? So I'm just using them for certain references, not everything. But this Illinois tribe was a very, very powerful tribe, okay? Very, very powerful tribe. All right, let me pull up the map. The Illinois controlled all of this. Okay. Now, the Florida Seminoles had Florida, and they would work together with the Cherokee to control the South. But the Illinois was composed of 12 different tribes, and all of the present-day Midwest was their land. And this is hidden history. This is hidden history. This is hidden history, right? They'll never tell you this, right? In school, they'll never teach this in school. Smoke good every day. So you get high frequencies. Learn the truth. We get high and talk about the truth in here. So, all of this was owned and ran by the Illinois Confederation all the way down to Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay? So, the Illinois Confederation, these are the states they had. It was 12 tribes. Each tribe had a state. And the crazy thing is, each state now today is named after the chief of each tribe or a tribe. Okay, so the headquarters of the Illinois Confederacy was in present-day Chicago, Illinois. That was headquarters. This is why they named the state Illinois. Okay? Present-day Chicago was the headquarters of the Illinois, which was one of the strongest tribes, and they had the biggest land. All right? They had more land than the Cherokee. Okay? Because the Cherokee had present-day Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. That's only 4 states. The Illinois had 12 states. All right? This tribe was enough.